Hey man, welcome to Nervous Rex. I'm in a hospital, but don't worry, I'm okay. I had a fucking infection from an ingrown hair on my left nut, and I tried to pop it myself. Pulled the hair out, got infected, woke up with a swollen fucking Gibraltar. Went yesterday to go get it checked out, and they drained it, and it was the worst fucking pain I've ever felt in my life. Got antibiotics, and then the lady said, okay, if it doesn't feel better and the swelling goes down by tomorrow, you need to go to an ER at a real hospital, because I was at I just went to a walk-in clinic place. So today was worse. I walked into the hospital. Now I'm laying here. They won't let me leave for 24 hours. And I got an IV drip of antibiotics and morphine. I feel like Crispy Del Monte right now. And the nurses are all beautiful. It's like a dream, nightmare at the same time. Anyway, thought it'd be a good time to check in with you guys. I'm just being kind of quiet because I'm in a hospital and I don't want to be all loud. But, hi. Oh, what's that?
I'm going to give you some more morphine.
Oh, great. Thanks. Did you hear that? So, I'm in the hospital, man. And I'm in a gown. And it feels very vulnerable because 3 women came and looked at my balls at the same time. My left ball. But they saw both balls and felt them, and it was very uncomfortable. But anyway, this episode is with Bryan Callen. Wonderful man, smart guy, comedian. You know him. He's always on Rogan. He makes me feel dumb because he's so smart. And he was kind enough to come by my place and have a chat. He and I were just in San Francisco. He performed at Cobb's Comedy Club. I got to go see him kill it. And we got to know each other. We had some wine, and we, what does the morphine look like exactly? Oh, it's just a pen?
It looks like a little tube.
Okay.
And it's inside of it.
I'm just recording this little thing that right now. This is for my podcast. Is it okay if they heard your voice in the background?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's Holly. She's a wonderful nurse. So how do you do that? Do you plug it into my arm? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is like being a fancy junkie, right? Right? Like
Yeah.
Tying off, because I have a thing around my arm, but it's very sterile and clean. Nice.
So you don't have the tourniquet on.
I don't have that. So do I need that on?
No.
Okay.
It's only when you start the IV.
Oh, so you just pump that in and you just did it?
Yep.
It's already done? Oh, that's
like
a big one. Oh, a chaser. What is?
This is just saline.
Ooh.
Cone stroke to ER. Cone stroke to ER. Cone stroke to ER.
So now I will feel sedation.
You should feel a little bit of relief.
Okay.
In your testicle.
Thank you. Is that one of the worst ones you've seen? My testicle inflation? Pretty big, right? So if I didn't come in, I feel that. If I didn't come in and wait another day, it could have gotten really infected?
Yeah.
Fuck. I knew it. I went with my gut. I went with my nut because I knew something was off. It's hard, yeah. So this will basically, the 24 hours of being on antibiotics will just kill the infection, and it will just decrease in size. Okay.
It may not get smaller like by tomorrow,
But it will kill it.
the next few days.
Right. Wow. And then you guys will transfer me to a room. And do they have TVs in the rooms? Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Basic cable? I'll just probably watch my phone. And I'm going to have a couple friends bring a book by or something. And then once I'm in there, you won't be able to hang out with me anymore?
No.
Oh.
No, I stay here.
Well, can I stay in this room or they need it?
They'll kick you out of the ER.
They will?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've been great.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you for your hospital. Very good nursey.
I try.
No, you're just doing it.
I feel bad. That's probably gotta hurt.
What's gonna hurt?
I said that probably hurts.
What you saw? Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It's been. I can't even sit down.
Yeah, I know. So.
So I'm in a good place. Okay, good. Thank you so much.
If you need anything, pull that little rope on the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, you heard it, guys. That's his real life shit. I didn't mean to be like Debbie Downer, but I thought this would be interesting to share with y'all. So anyway, this episode's with Bryan Callen. Magical man. He's like a unicorn. Good looking, great shoulders, strong boxing abilities. He's a good dude. And we got to hang out in San Francisco and I got to train with his guys. One of them is SFPD. That means San Francisco Police Department. His brother's name's Tarek. It's Yo-Yo and Tarek, and they're the best. They're Afghan refugees who train spiritually, physically. A lot of athletes and MMA fighters and venture capitalists and people like me and Bryan Callen. So I got to train up there in San Francisco, hang with Bryan Callen. It was great. Great times. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this talk with me and Bryan in my apartment. And I am just going to I feel crispy. Oh my God. I got literally a morphine drip in my fucking arm. She just shot me up with morphine like a fancy junkie. All right. Well, I'm not so nervous, Rex, right now. I'm fucking relaxed, Rex. Love you guys, baby.
We are here with Bryan Callen, and thank you for making time in your busy schedule to come. I know we're not that close of friends. We have mutual close friends, but you have always been very generous and nice, and thank you.
You and I should be spending more time together.
I agree. We're both in West Side guys. We're in my apartment, so if the acoustics sound weird, we're not at the studio. We're doing this rogue.
Well, I love this apartment.
Thank
and
you.
let me say this about this apartment. It's all you need.
It's all I need.
Okay?
It's all I need.
And it's all you need.
Yeah.
You're a legit 6'2". That's pushing it. I'm going to say just under 6'2". Just under 6 feet.
I'm just under 6'2".
But you got long. I'm happy with your length of arm.
I have good
and
reach.
leg.
Good reach.
I'm getting lost in your eyes.
Yeah.
They're as blue as the Adriatic.
Well, they're technically
mysterious.
hazel.
They're a grotto.
They're hazel. On my birth certificate is hazel.
They are hazel.
Depending on who I'm with, they change color. So you're bringing out some majestic magenta.
I would agree, and I like that you wore a hazel shirt.
Yeah, I wanted to pop.
No, you're popping right now. And the one thing I realized is that when you and I walk into a bar, we're hanging on the beach, we're at a coffee shop. I get the girl that that loses out to you,
Which
and
quite
that's
often,
okay.
yeah, which quite often is high caliber females.
No. I mean, you've never had a problem.
Well, we could get into that. I haven't had a problem getting girls in the sack. I have had a problem keeping meaningful relationships.
That's
the conundrum.
Well,
Yeah.
that's an interesting. The question becomes: is that because you are subconsciously choosing those kinds of women because you don't ultimately want a relationship? These are the questions.
Dude, let's get right into it. Because yes, but if it's subconscious, do I know? I am aware of my patterns that I'm programmed. I actually recently, my father and I were never that close. Let's get right into it. My dad and I were never that close. Don't know him that well. He and I recently connected, and I started learning a lot about my father's side of the family. My dad was a player. Like my mom said that he got the nurse's phone number while she was in labor with me. Okay, so it's in my DNA. Now, even further than that.
And he was a looker?
Yeah, he was a cool hippie photographer guy.
Oh, okay.
Jay Leno, silver hair, Steve Martin hair, crystal blue eyes, skinny, can't gain weight. One of those guys that walk in and fuck everyone because he's a skinny photographer. And then his dad, I just found out, I never knew this. His dad opened a spiritual center in Colorado in the 70s and 60s and fucked every woman there.
Of course, that's why
he's like a cult leader. I had no idea.
You do open a spiritual center. You don't open a spiritual center because you're trying to get closer to God. You open a spiritual center so you're you're a cult leader. You're
feeding off of people at a low point in their life. I never approved of this, but that's in my DNA,
if you're
man.
wearing sandals and beads and you're not from Tibet, this is a joke I write. If you're not from Tibet, you're selling something most people don't need, and at the end of the day, it's your cock.
Now, what about barefoot? If you're barefoot, what are you doing?
That's a real wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
Now, sometimes if you're barefoot, you're just a mess. But if you've got those Jesus sandals that are not comfortable with the tiny buckle,
right,
and your big toes wrapped in leather, get the fuck out of here.
Run the other way.
I know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, no, there's like in anything, I feel like the new age spiritual world of healing, there's so much bullshit within that world. But you could say the same thing about any business or any scene. There's a lot of bullshit out there.
Yeah.
But in that world where it's very sanctimonious, as they look down on you for being lesser than, which is the opposite of what it's all about. Like I get that in the yoga community. I get that in a lot of, I do breath work with like Wim Hof, and I'm dip my feet in that world, and I noticed that world seems even more pretentious than because
I think only because they're trying to distill the sort of secrets of life and how to navigate this insanity,
which no one really knows.
I always worry about when people speak about steps to something, or you have to do these 3 things. I mean, life is just way too chaotic and too much of a controlled fall. There's too much of an improv. But I want to go back to, this is starting to really sit with me. You just said that your mother told you your father got the nurse's phone number while she was in labor.
Yeah.
That right there is the movie, the centerpiece for your life. You know what that is? If I'm writing a movie, that's what happened to Simon.
Literally, it's like the Immaculate Conception sort. It's like
it's what happened to you.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like
it was. I didn't have I wasn't even out of the womb yet, and that was my cards were on the table.
Your dad had no idea that boy who was coming out was going to have to deal with the wreckage of that behavior. Up until right
now, the question is it a gift or a curse? I always say my joke is it's lonely in the middle, because I'm not at the top. I've had a lot of money before. I had the house in the hills. I had a lot more fame in the past. And now that I've had all that, like you said, do I need much more than this apartment by the beach? Honestly, like I'm in that Goldilocks zone where I'm sort of just in that little sweet spot. But what I am missing is the family structure and the nucleus and the children and those things that I want to have in my life. So it's hard to meet in this town mother type women. Oh, there's a million hot girls to have fun with, which is great. But now I'm at this point where I want to experience what I see so many people around me have, which is a family and kids.
But you know what? My friend Ryan, who owns businesses and a very successful guy, I said, how do you find good employees? And he said, I don't find good employees. I make good employees. And I think that you can make whatever you want out of your life. I think the idea is when you're really ready, you can find you can make a partner, and she can make you. I mean, in a way.
Without changing, you mean changing somebody, or do you mean just like?
I think changing yourself.
Right. Okay. It starts there.
So think
right.
about it.
Okay.
Like most of us
you.
come to a relationship with armor and with guns blazing, or at least certainly playing a character. Not expressing. Not expressing.
It's
ourselves.
An audition.
Oh, dude, and never expressing ourselves fully. Never expressing ourselves honestly to a woman ever. I haven't done that ever, including with the mother of my children. So, and to do that, to come to a relationship actually with your cards out and to keep them out. I mean, guns, like all your guns put away.
Right.
That will, think about it. That will allow that other person, I think, I'm not a relationship guru here, but I think that allows the other person to put their guns away. Think about vulnerability.
Right.
You never look bad when you're vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Right?
As a matter of fact, that's the most endearing quality that I'm noticing. People like Theo Von are making a career out of being vulnerable and open and honest and that open as not putting on this bravado that we men are raised in our society to do. We're macho assholes, and we got to get in touch with the feminine a little bit more without, even just going to yoga is getting in touch with the feminine, because you're bending over and doing all these things that your ego and your mind's going, yeah, you look like a fucking weirdo, bending. Like, I'm constantly struggling with that conditioning.
Dude, I wrote a joke, and it was just based on truth. I'd rather have a friend catch me jerking off than catch me crying.
Wow, yeah, dude.
It's true.
Okay, so I cried the other day. I had a wet dream the other day.
Ooh.
And woke up laughing.
That's
a 44-year-old wet dream.
That's impressive.
Now, I don't know what's going on, but I feel as if something's still working, like the libido's firing, and I feel like I'm 25 years old. I'm bouncing off the walls with energy. I do everything I possibly can to try to center myself and just, be a little more equanimous.
You've had to do it on your own too, right?
Oh, everything's on my own. Only child.
Dad wasn't around?
Dad wasn't around. Left when I was 2. Had the asshole, coke addict, abusive, alcoholic stepfather. So to me, ingrained in me is alcohol and cocaine are the devil. I know you hate drunk energy. I can't. It's a trigger for me.
Your mom loves dangerous men, huh?
Well, she did up until now. She met Mr. Right, who's the sweetest guy in the world. Outdoorsman, lumberjack, doesn't swear. He says, gosh, garn dolly, and he's the sweetest guy in the world. So she finally met a good guy. But like most women, they're attracted to assholes.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think I think deep inside, I know deep inside, I'm not a bad guy, but I have this persona that's kind of like, oh, this bad boy. I do this comedy rap character that's very vulgar. Everything I've done is very comedic and silly. I don't think girls take me too serious. So it's hard for me to meet someone that and this sounds vain, really likes me for me, and maybe in LA everyone's trying to come up so they might see me as possibly helping their career. So you always got to be a little on the talk about walls up, little defensive walls up, because I don't know what they really want. And it's hard to meet a girl that you could put in a white dress and bring home to mom. So, and the Jewish mom I have as well, the enmeshed, you're not Jewish, but
No,
you
but
seem like you
I'm
relate
Italian.
to Jews.
My
It's
mother's
close.
100% Italian.
So you're big dick Caucasian. Okay, I get it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I could tell you have big dick energy. So it's like, I think, so anyway, I don't know. We just went right to the throat, but these are my issues. And I've been sitting and spending a lot of time alone, and it's okay. Like, I'm used to being alone, but the idle hands are the devil's workshop type shit. Man. So that's when I get into trouble. When I got a girl, my ears are clean. I'm on my, I'm not getting it. When I'm just single is when those little, that voice calls.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
I go to therapy now.
Okay, good. What kind of therapy, if you don't mind me asking?
I go to couples therapy.
Okay.
But I also go to my own therapy. I've never done this before.
Oh, really?
This is
You're new
for
to
me,
therapy.
dude. I'm new
Let's
to
talk
bro.
about it, because I'm a therapy boy.
Oh, you are?
Well, I've been going since I was 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
So we could get into that, but I want it to be about you, and I always make this about me, but we're just talking.
No, we're talking. We're talking because I didn't know that getting in a room at my age with a guy who's been doing it for 40 years, 38 years, 35 years.
Doing what? Therapy?
Therapy. He's been studying the human psyche. He's been listening to people.
Okay.
He studied this. He's got his PhD. It's not an exact science. It's a creative science, because according to this guy I have, who's incredible, his name is Mitch Gallant. Right. And he, the dude is...
That's the therapist, Mitch Gallant?
Mitch Gallant.
Okay.
He works, I think, with... He's out of Stanford University.
Okay, that's a very nice community college.
He works with a lot of exactly. I think he works with a lot of people who are terminally ill and stuff like that. This is a real.
He's doing the big stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
But the dude will look at me and say, he'll slow me down. He'll have me kind of take inventory of my brain, of my motivations, without any judgment.
Okay, right.
Without judgment. He'll just
right?
sit back and be like...
Observe the thinker without any judgment.
Yeah, and he'll be like, let's just for a second.
There's a whole book on that called The Untethered Soul, which is all about observing the thinker with no judgment.
He studies mindfulness.
Okay, yeah, great. Transcendental meditation, possibly?
Whatever it is, but he'll have me kind of sit back and be a witness to what's going on with my central nervous system when I say certain things.
Right. The triggers that come up with things. Yeah, that's some heavy shit. No, because then you realize too, once you separate yourself from your thoughts, you realize, oh, I'm not my thoughts. No. That's where the soul comes into play. And there's a whole book that I read about this where you sit back and once your brain starts going, you actually look at the organ as if it's just a working organ, which it is. And you look at it and you go, oh, wait a minute, I'm not those thoughts. That's like programmed computer shit. I'm separate from that, and don't judge it. Just be aware of it. And that's like the main thing in meditation.
Be aware of it, and without trying to change anything, you are, there's these lots of sayings, right? You are who you were, you are who you are, you are who you could be. You're also, a lot of us have many different facets to our personality. I mean, we're verbs, we're not nouns. A lot of times we are...
You mean we're action, not a state?
Think about it. You change all the time. So
yeah, evolution, baby.
We have the side of us, Bryan has the side that's positive, that gets things done, that feels right and good. You feel like you're being honest, expressive in the best way, productive, and you're growing and contributing. But then there's that shadow side, brother. And it happens usually at night. But it's the shadow side. It happens with 3 glasses of wine. It happens at night. It happens whenever. And that shadow side is not your friend. That shadow side is probably, that great saying by Jung, that which we don't bring out, that if we don't bring the subconscious into the conscious, it will play out as fate in our lives. And that subconscious starts working. All that trauma, whatever happened to you. Like this other therapist said, you have to come to terms with what happened to you. Because you can say it wasn't anything. But the fact of the matter is, it has a ripple effect. The fact of the matter is, it has created an indelible mark. It does have residue, and it will always be there until you are able to recognize what's happening here, develop a relationship with the shadow side. That to me is very helpful to kind of see it and go, there he is. Mm-hmm. There he is.
Yeah, no, because people that push it away, That's not the answer. Running from it, you got to dance with the shadow sometimes, but not necessarily as long as you're leading.
Too.
Yeah. Okay, this all makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not that educated on Carl Gustav Jung, but I am familiar with some of his stuff as I've been. The guy knows his shit, and the archetypes and all this stuff. I'm starting to learn about the duality of man. As you get older, you get better at controlling these things. I'm now able to fast forward the tape, whereas when I was younger, I wouldn't take the time to be like, oh, this could go this direction tonight, and maybe I shouldn't do that. I didn't have that skill set in my wheelhouse. And now as I get older, I can fast forward the tape and say, it ain't worth it to me, and I got no... I think I spent my whole life trying to please other people so much, a people pleaser, make sure everyone's okay, that now it's like time to take care of my own shit.
Of course you did, because your dad wasn't around.
Look at me. What do you think I'm sitting here? Look at me. Look at me. Hey, look at me. Look at me.
Of course, because your dad
Sickening.
fucking left.
Yeah, abandonment issues. So that's the core of all of my shit is, like, for instance, girl problems. If I'm fighting with my chick and she doesn't call me back for a day, I'm not mad that she's not calling me back. That is rooted in my abandonment issues, that everything that is close to me will go away. So even just being aware of that.
Probably push it away before it even happens.
That's the other shit is that I got this fortress walls up. I don't let down the drawbridge, and I'm trying to open my heart and but it's hard because you get fucking stabbed. And I've had a lot of girls, and I've done the same. I've hurt girls and been hurt. It's a two-way street.
It's probably your preemptive strike.
Yeah.
One way or another. You're either going to hurt them or they're going to, it's reliving that trauma on your own terms.
And that's trauma that I don't even think, my mom told me, and this is some deep shit, I don't remember this, but my mom told me when I was 3 years old, I put a thumbtack in her thigh, and I said, it's your fault daddy's gone. Now that's some deep shit that I don't even realize. I harbor resentment at my dad and my mom, and I got to let that shit go. So I've recently been working on that shit a lot with my father. Me and him, like, we had the talk. I told him I told my dad, I said, I forgive you. And I watched his shoulders fold. He just started crying, and I probably added 2 years to his life because he was walking around, feeling horrible about never having been around. So I just said, I forgive you. And those words changed everything. And then all of a sudden, our relationship was no longer like father-son. We were like me and you going out for a walk and hanging out. Those words shifted the whole dynamic of our relationship. And now we're cool. And like we're like, it's a completely different thing from me saying. So powerful. And I don't even know if I really do completely, but I do enough to have said it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't completely forgive him for not being around, but I do. As I get older and now I'm a man, I understand. Like,
well, when you said I kind of like got hiccuped on, when we always say that I got to let it go. Like, I don't know how to do that, and I don't know what that means, and I don't know if it's possible, but I do think confronting it like you did, that might be the best way. Confronting it, seeing it, reliving it, and then forgiving the person.
Yeah.
I think that's why forgiveness is so powerful.
It is. And yeah,
it's at the heart of Christianity, probably. It's at the heart of, I don't know about Buddhism or Judaism or Islam, but I have to believe that forgiveness is a fucking powerful thing, man. It's like you see these stories when the guy kills somebody's daughter or whatever, and the mother comes up and goes, I forgive you, and hugs him.
That's some heavy shit, man. I got a buddy of mine, he put his friend through the window of his car, drunk driving, and had to speak at the funeral for his best friend, and the parents hugged him and forgave him. He said that was the hardest part, was the parents hugging him, saying, we love you, we forgive you. Could you imagine that one?
Well, it's the best thing they could do, I guess. Right?
And yeah, but then sometimes you think about, like, I don't know if I could... for me, if I am forgiven for something, I know that does feel really good. On the other side, like, for instance, something with a girlfriend in the past, and they're like, look, I forgive you. That does take a fucking load off of my shoulders. But deep underneath that, I'm not sure if they really do, but it was at least opens up the door for that to not be the elephant in the room sitting there anymore.
Yeah.
For me and my dad, that's what it was. It was the elephant in the room. It was all this, holding that shit in is cancer. It's going to kill you.
Fuck yeah.
You got to let that shit out.
As I get older, though, I wonder, like, people like your father, whoever it is, when they behave that way and they do a bad thing and stuff, I just really wonder how much is in someone like that's control. I really do. I wonder about, like, the idea of will and the idea of, like, discipline. Well, okay, but you may not have that wiring.
Right.
You may not have that capacity. You may be so damaged that you don't think whether it's conscious or subconscious, you may not think you have anything to offer. A guy who's asking the nurse for her number isn't really into the sex. He's into being validated. He had a dad. he had a dad like that.
Right.
This is fascinating to me. That
Now, is that nature or nurture or both? Because I didn't even know.
I don't know the answer.
I don't either.
I really don't know the answer.
Yeah, I don't either.
I have to believe it's both. That would make sense. That's certainly the easy answer.
Do you believe you download trauma from ancestry? Like, do you believe that, for instance, I'm Jewish, my family was in the Holocaust, I have this ingrained in me from being born from the womb of a Jewish woman, passed down these anxieties and preconceived, these sort of conditions?
I personally do.
I do too. I used to not.
I think it makes fucking sense. I think it's called evolution.
Yeah. And is that epigenetics? Is that adapting to?
They call it epigenetics. They call it epigenetics. In other words, what your father did, like say your dad was a fighter, your kid is born. I don't know the science behind that. I don't know how true that is.
Right.
I do know you can sort of reboot dormant genes that wouldn't be used otherwise. And I have to believe human beings are they're so pliable and adaptable. We know the brain changes itself according to...
Yeah, you can recarve neural pathways. And,
yeah.
Do you know who Stanley Krippner is?
Will change your things.
Do you know Stanley Krippner? Okay, this is Chris Ryan's mentor. Stanley Krippner.
I love Chris Ryan.
Yeah, he's great.
That's my boy.
He's my boy too, and he's taught me a lot. And he put me onto so many interesting people. And his mentor is a guy named Stanley Krippner, who's a 75-year-old. I don't know what his title is. He's the only person accepted in the scientific community who's sort of a woo-woo, like psychedelics open the portal and all that conversation. Some Graham Hancock kind of shit. But the scientific community completely accepts what he says. So he's like the only guy that's in both of those doors. Okay. Right. So he's like renowned around the world to know his shit. And I got to hang out with him on his 75th birthday, and everyone's sitting around asking him questions. I went with Chris, and I didn't ask this, but someone said, "Hey, what's the trick to staying younger forever? Staying young forever?" He goes, "Learn new things as you get older, and your brain carves new neural pathways that excite your brain to feel young again." For instance, you're 65, start to learn guitar.
That's right.
Do new things. Never stop learning.
I'm a huge fan of that.
Right? And he said it's actually science that the new neural ways, that carves the new pathways that make your brain, which I buy that one. So that was the one thing that stood out that he said.
I say this to young men all the time. Learn a new language. I say it to men and women.
Fuck, it's hard when you get older. I wish I did when I was younger.
I'm not talking about Spanish. I'm talking about a new language, what you're saying.
Oh,
Black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Got it. Right.
If you want to learn French, get good enough
you
so
speak
you can
good
watch
French.
movies.
So where'd you grow? Okay, where'd you grow up?
I grew up, I was born in the Philippines.
Whoa, yeah, I got that vibe.
India, I know. I've got a Filipino vibe. And then I went to India, Calcutta, and Bombay.
What did your dad do? Is he a hitman?
He was a hitman. I'll tell you in a second. Then Lebanon, then Pakistan, then Lebanon again. The war broke out. Wow. Then we were evacuated to Greece, then Saudi Arabia. So I was moved every 2 years.
That was my pattern.
Indeed. I was moved every 2 years. My dad traveled a ton. And then I went to boarding school in Massachusetts for 4 years, college in D.C. for 4 years at American University, and then I came to New York. So I never lived anywhere. The first time I put something on a wall, I was 32. I bought a house.
Wow.
So I was a real nomad. But so again, how interesting that my family, my two children, my wife, I moved them every 2 years. Every 2 years. And in therapy, my wife said, "Did you notice that you moved us every 2 years?" For the past,
so that was your
12
pattern
years.
That you didn't even realize subconsciously you were doing.
I don't even realize what the fuck I'm doing, bro. I'm moving people every 2 years.
Wow, interesting.
And then, so these things repeat themselves. You don't even realize what the fuck you're doing.
That's 95% subconscious behaviors that are programmed that you don't even realize you're doing. There's actually a guy, I'm going to forget his name or say it wrong, but there's this, when you first wake up and you go to bed, you're in that little in-between, that magic place where you're like, where am I? Or you're falling in and out of sleep. At that moment, you can, there's what's the word? Not confirmation, you can play these loops. Like, for instance, I listened to this one that basically says, "I love myself," over and over and over. And you listen to it while you're sleeping. So as you're falling asleep, it gets in your subconscious. And when you wake up, there's that little window of time, because you could read all the self-help books you want. You could do all the work, the meditation, the yoga, whatever the fuck you want to do. But it's the subconscious that you need to get into. So by playing that loop, of affirmation, which is the most generic one I found is, "I love myself." And the dude says it for 8 hours. And I put it on when I go to bed. And all night long as I'm sleeping, I'm hearing "I love myself," so it gets in my subconscious. Because that's when you download the information more than reading in your conscious mind.
I have a little bit of a different approach.
Okay.
And this is not my idea. This is actually Tony Robbins. I heard this when I was a young man. I listened to his tapes.
He's got a huge cock, guaranteed.
Promise,
dude.
I promise. But I wanted to make fun of him because I was writing a spoof about a self-help guru, and I started listening to him. And I was like,
dude, that's
oh
gold.
wait, this guy's. Wait a minute. There's nothing to be made fun of here. I could use this guy. He's got techniques where you're like, oh fuck, this dude knows he knows how my mind works at least. So I went in going, I'm going to make fun of a self-help guy. And then I listened to this dude and I was like, wait a minute, this motherfucker is got something. He studied very successful people. And there is an architecture to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But he said that it's one thing to do affirmations, but he talked about changing the primary question in your brain. So most of us have an unhelpful primary question. Most of us walk around saying things like, am I lovable? What if I fail? Am I good enough? Why me? All these things, okay? That's a question that most of us have, and they're not empowering questions. And what he'll have you do is change the question. So you'll wake up and say something like, what action do I have to take today to get closer?
That's very stoic. That's like a stoic way of, I believe
the Stoics were a little bit more. The Stoics were really what the word means, which was, you're talking about Seneca, which was the notion that I'm going to meditate on the shortness of life, and therefore I'm not going to waste my time chasing physical sensation.
Right.
I'm going to chase things like accomplishment, intellectual pursuit, command of my appetites.
Right.
That would be more a little bit.
Okay. I thought that a Stoic exercise was in meditations. One of them is where you wake up in the morning and you give yourself an assignment like that. But anyway, so
no, this is more a reprogramming of the way your brain, the questions your brain asks. So usually the questions your brain is asking is not, there's no helpful answer, and it's a waste of time. It's a form of procrastination. When you ask yourself questions like, what action do I have to take today to become a better actor, to become the actor I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? What does that look like every day? Get specific about these questions. You'll find an answer, and you'll find a good one. Your body will start moving in the right direction. For me, I found that to be really great, because I came down to basic things about being an artist. I said, well, my idea is original self-expression. It's what really Nietzsche was talking about. I want to be original in my expression. I want to surprise people with something. I don't want to do anything derivative. I want to do something shocking, surprising, and that I can look back on as a body of work. I don't want to take any shortcuts. And so that challenge never goes away, but it's certainly a good place to point your guns, your barrels.
I like that.
Yeah, because most things in life are expedient. It's very easy to, for example, write a song with tricks and hooks. Much harder to write a story, to really tap into a deep truth about yourself. It's the reason I think Springsteen and Dylan are still talked about. They're relevant still in a way.
Right.
Why is it that someone like Madonna, all due respect, has to keep reinventing herself?
Well, that's smart. First of all, I think
she's amazing. She's amazing.
She adapts with the times.
She's an artist, and she stays fresh, and she doesn't let anybody define her, which I really appreciate.
Right.
But the music I'm talking about itself tends to. I think it's the difference between popular music and artistry.
Right.
And I don't know that Madonna has earned, as a musician, artistry on the level someone.
Right. No, she's a character that people are drawn to.
She's very good at packaging.
Right.
And the songs.
Yeah, she wasn't the best singer.
Come and go.
Yeah, but in her defense, here's another thing that I've talked about before, because I do, as you see, I have a little music studio here, and when you buy a drum machine, it comes at 120 beats per minute, and there's a reason why. And Madonna's whole career, except for Mia Lisla Bonita, every one of her songs is 120 beats per minute. And you know what that is? That's your heartbeat. So there's a disco, it's house music, it's Madonna's pop formula. So 120 beats per minute is a tribal thing that subconsciously everyone can move their head to around the world. So it's like pop music now generally, and always has been, is 4 on the floor, 120. And her whole career, if you listen to any song, is, I was thinking about this yesterday. She was on the radio. I'm like, oh, she's still doing that 4 on the floor, 120, because it's an undeniable rhythm.
She's
and
great.
then she has great producers work around that.
I love her music.
Yeah. So if you look up on that plaque right there, you see that plaque right there? That's 1 million, says My Dick Platinum Single. So the other side of that spectrum is I sold 1 million copies of a song called My Dick, which is a very immature song that I made in 5 minutes with my friends. And here's the lesson in life I took away from that. That song I made in 5 minutes on a little keyboard for fun because I was just fucking around. It sold 1 million copies, and I was joking with my boys. So do a song called My Dick. Then I'll sit in the studio with the top producers and spend weeks, and then nothing happens.
I know.
You're overthinking it.
That's like me getting ready for an audition for 3 days, and I don't get it, and then I just walk in because I've been hiking.
Cold read, book it every time.
Fuck.
Every fucking time.
That's life.
So that's the flow state, okay? So I feel like there's that conversation becomes the flow state where it's like Steph Curry's done enough homework to now where he could just go in the zone, or the fighters. Yeah. They've done all the work so they could just tap into that free flow zone, right? Yeah. Flow state. Yeah. And when you experience flow, whether it's riding a bike or certain things, and you get out of the prefrontal cortex and you're actually enjoying the process, that's the magic.
Well, stand-up does that. Like sometimes
I bet.
When I'm really banging and I'm about to shoot a special, I'll get to a point where I'm playing the audience like an instrument. I'm not even thinking about my stand-up. I'm blowing air here. I'm pulling air out of here. This side's a little bit low energy. This side's too high energy. And you're managing energy.
Yeah, that's interesting. I get a small dose of that because when I go do my music act on the road, it becomes sort of this hybrid stand-up / improv / music show where half my stage time in 1 hour becomes me riffing with the audience, telling jokes, bringing someone on stage. And that's a magical feeling to be the orchestrator of a room of energy and feeling the room and going, engaging it and losing them, getting them back. And you're making love to them. And here's the Steve Martin I read in his book. Steve Martin would say, he'd go rock the first superstar comic, 20,000 people. And he'd go sit in his hotel room alone, and the silence was deafening. And that's my experience. Is I'll go on the road, have 500 people having a blast, and then I'm back in my hotel room, and it's just quiet, and it's just me with my thoughts, and you can't sleep because your energy's gone.
Well, dude, that's the biggest.
You have this,
correct? You spend all day alone writing and being solitary, and then you get up on stage, you're like a rock star, and then it's done. The music is done. You can get into trouble after that.
Yeah.
You start drink. I don't drink though. You can start getting crazy.
Oh yeah.
But you get lonely.
Oh, I get.
Lonely.
It's lonely out there. Like I said, it's lonely in the middle, and I get out there, and I wouldn't do. I can't imagine I would do anything else. Talk about purpose. My purpose, I truly believe, is to put smiles on people's faces and get them through the day from their miserable fucking lives and jobs and marriages and people. Because people tell me all the time, they come up like, "Dude, you got me through the day, and when I was having a hard time, like your silly little videos on Instagram or your music made me laugh. Thank you." And that gives me that validation of like, "Oh, okay, that's why I'm here. I'm actually helping somebody." It's the ultimate unselfish act, but I'm not a fireman or a fucking paramedic, but I'm doing it through art and getting to. So when I'm not creating, I feel dead. When I'm not putting something out, and that's why, as shallow as it is, like even social media, like putting up a little Instagram video and being validated and putting smiles on faces, like, okay, that's why I'm here.
Hell yes, man.
Right?
You're in a position of service.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how many? Fame is hilarious. Fame doesn't exist, in my opinion. Fame is, I guess it's a lot of people want to take pictures or something or see you, but it's not. The upside of that is distraction. I don't think there's money and stuff,
right, and a lot of spare time to stay in shape.
That gets in the way of your goddamn expression too.
I want a therapist that deals with fame because I've had at a very small level of fame. Okay, I'm not really famous, but if I go to the Midwest or certain places, people are like, "You're the guy from let me get a pic," and it becomes an issue, and I don't want to go out and deal with people, and then I become a closed off human, and I want to be open to everybody, but then people just take and are very pushy and come up drunk and with the camera out, and it gets very invasive. So I'm wondering if there's a therapist, because I've gone to therapy over the years, that would deal specifically with.
You don't need a therapist for that. I mean, to me, like first of all, I love people, so I never much tire of that. But certain people who are more introverted, like Dalia and stuff, maybe you, Rogan, that they get a lot of it, and that can get exhausting for them.
Especially the type of people that are listening to Rogan, like very bro fratty, yo bro.
It gets a lot,
Right.
So, but I think that there's just a way to. You just have to learn how to manage it.
Yeah, I have.
It's not about. I don't know if you need a therapist.
And I'm not complaining. No, I'm just wondering if that existed because like fame is such a weird thing. Fame is a mask that eats away at the soul. Is that the saying? And it does. It's such a weird thing that everybody wants to be famous. And now with the social media stuff and YouTube, the floodgates are open and everyone's coming in.
Because I think the danger to that kind of attention is that it can start to define you because you'll start trying to fulfill. That's why I never read good or bad reviews. I did.
Of yourself.
My special complicated.
It's hard not to look at those comments, right?
I got
Well,
good reviews.
I watched it in Bali, and me and my girl at the time fucking loved it.
Thank
it was
you.
amazing.
Thank
It was
you.
hilarious.
It's the best I can do, so-
It was great. Intelligence mixed with confident comedy mixed with a great physique and overall glow.
Thank you about the great physique.
Dude.
That's
You
what
look good.
I'm talking about. I'm a good
Yeah.
looking guy. But I mean, at the end of the day, that to me I guess it got nice. People said nice things. I don't read that stuff
Okay.
because it'll define me. I'm too
Yeah.
sensitive.
Yeah, okay.
It has as much power as the negative or more because now I'm going to try to fulfill. And the crisis was after I shot that. For 5 months I didn't know what the fuck to write. I just landed on it now. And now it's writing itself.
It'll never end, bro. That's the
never
cycle.
ends.
My buddy won the.
Never
Okay, so my
ends.
buddy Mark Ronson, not to drop names, very big musician.
yeah.
Okay, he's the guy right now. He's the guy. He's been my
That's a buddy
buddy,
of yours?
one of my best friends.
Fuck,
Okay,
he's
so I've watched his career go like this over the years, from Amy Winehouse to now to everything.
Jesus.
I remember when he and I we were models. We did a Calvin Klein show when he was 19 years old.
good-looking, too?
He's a good-looking guy, and he's a stud, and he's the sweetest guy on the planet, and has not changed at all. And what he said to me stood out. He said, after I won he won the Oscar this year for our boy Todd's movie for the
Joker?
No, for the Stars Born. He did the main song. He produced that.
God.
Yeah, and Mark did that. But 2 years before, he did Uptown Funk, Gonna Give It to You. So he won the Grammy for Record of the Year. So he said for 3 days he kicked his feet up and was like, I did it. I won the top possible thing you could win. I got the Song of the Year on the planet Earth. He said 3 days he enjoyed it. And then he's like, now what?
Well, that's why everybody I talked to who won a belt. Same thing.
So I think you could never understand that until you get it. So that's the sort of like what I was talking about Stanley Krippner. You just got to keep doing new things. And it's not like at any point you're ever like, oh, I learned music. I could stop now. I learned acting. You never stop learning.
Read, when you get a chance, Tennessee Williams' essay, The Catastrophe of Success.
Oh, I like it
There's a
already.
catastrophe to success. When you win the belt, when you win best this, when you win that, you your biggest challenge is figuring out how to reintroduce struggle, because luxury is the wolf at the door, not struggle. Human beings are made to struggle. Where would the Jews be without the 3,000 years of oppression? Do you think
Brooklyn?
Do you think it's a mistake that the most innovative group in the world, 1/3 of all Nobel Prize winners?
I thought it was even more. I thought it was like 75% or something.
The
1% of the planet.
the leaders of social
Ashkenazi
change.
Jew, very smart brains.
It's unbelievable.
I'm
Leaders-
Ashkenazi Jew, but I'm not smart. Oh, I got a great. Oh, sorry to cut you off. I got to work on that. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
but I'm just saying that is probably what was Nietzsche said. To my friends and everyone I love, I wish despair, loss, isolation. I mean, in other words, that's how you become. You go from being a camel to a lion.
So that's okay. So I don't mean to just keep making it about myself, but I only know how to explain what I experienced.
okay.
I had that. I peaked early. Okay. So I had the house in the hills, the 3-bedroom house at the top of Laurel Canyon in Mulholland. Fucking Will Ferrell's my next door neighbor. I'm booking TV shows, movies. This is back in the early 2000s, holding deals when the network would pay you to hold you. I had so much money. I was the hottest new thing. Boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden, the peaks and valleys. So here I am at 44 years old, and I've had such a great ride to this point that now I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment on the beach with a Prius. Yet I'm back to making beats right here in my kitchen. I had a music studio the size of this whole apartment 3 years ago in Laurel Canyon. So I'm kind of getting back to basics, and I'm getting back to the struggle. And to be quite honest, it feels good because I have an edge. Whereas when I was too comfortable just ordering food all day, fucking like I had nothing. It was too easy.
I know.
It was too easy.
Yeah.
And obviously the industry has changed so much out there. There's not as many TV shows to get booked on. I did, sitcom, as you know, is the best gig in town. You're in your pajamas all fucking week and you shoot a play on a Friday night that you could fuck up a line and do again. It's the best gig in town. So I had those experiences, and now I'm just sitting here like not struggling by any means. I mean, I'm doing good. I make a great living, but I back to the ground level.
Yeah.
And humble pie tastes good.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I think you have to figure out a way. That's kind of where, going back to learning new shit. Learning new shit's really good because, like I said to Bill Burr, I was like, I'm having trouble writing. He goes, yeah, just do something difficult. Just pick up something difficult.
He's the king of that. He's always
But then
helicopter
the
pilot,
helicopter and all
drumming. Like that guy's an animal.
That's what I do. That's what I try to do, something that I'm not good at. That's really hard. And Rogan does the same thing. Like, just pick up something that you have trouble with, and you'll be back to beginner's mind.
Yeah, beginner's mind. That's it.
Be back to the basics, and it'll be humbling, and you'll suck, and you'll have to. And then because if you stay, one of the things I love about fighting, like the Brazilians, like jiu-jitsu, MMA, is it used to be like a martial arts teacher he was the master and he never had to fight. And he was too deadly and too good, but he never got tested. So martial arts like Kung Fu and a lot of karates and things, they were never tested. You were able to stay a black belt and you had your students, and as long as everybody followed the rules, you were the badass, and you didn't really spar. You sparred because quote unquote it was too deadly. And then along came the Brazilians, and then along came boxing and wrestling and all that stuff that mixed in. All the guys that were doing it all the time. And then you'd see a guy with closed up ears, and you're like, oh, that guy's actually really been fighting. Why is he beating up all these other quote unquote masters in Kung Fu and karate? Well, because those guys never fought. That's
like Hicks and Gracie going into a dojo and tapping out
or those
Kung Fu
Russian
master
Muay Thai / kickboxers who would go in there and or those Aikido guys would try to fight. They were naive enough to think that they could fight a good amateur MMA guy. And you can see it on the internet. They get punched fucking once with a jab, and their hand goes to their face, and they look at the blood and they go, and all of a sudden they're literally, it's like taking someone who thought they could swim and throwing them in the middle of the ocean. That's literally what it's like.
But they talk about getting back to beginner's brain. Good, that they need that reality check.
Well, now you can't. Now when you say I'm a black belt in karate, people go, okay.
This white belt in jiu-jitsu.
What if I grab you by the legs or whatever?
You know, I learned that firsthand. I trained with Henner and Hedon. I think we talked about this on Fighter and the Kid. Yeah, we briefly spoke about this on your podcast.
At a wedding.
They're the best. And I'm friends with Kron as well. Those are my boys.
I don't know Kron.
Okay, he's a beast. As you know, he's coming up right now in the ranks. Fucking animal, right? So anyway, I trained with Henner and Hedon, and I got to train in front of Helio. He was 94 years old. It was right before he passed away. He came to Torrance, to the old academy. For those listening, Helio Gracie is the grandfather of the whole Brazil. He's like
the great innovator.
He's the innovator because he was a little guy who learned the weight distribution. Anyway, so I got to train directly in front of him on a mat as he sat on a fold-out chair like Yoda, and I was in the presence of the great one. And I was probably 2 stripes on my white belt, so I just got the fundamentals of trap and lock and all these basics. So I trained in front of him with Henner, and he said in Portuguese to Henner, he gets it. He knows the moves. He just needs to relax and breathe. And and I'm like, story of my life, right? That's the metaphor of fighting that you take from it. For me was that I need to relax and breathe. So when I was training with Henner, he started to tell me, he's like, okay, now when you get me in a rear naked choke, I want you to tell me what you did today. So I'd be working, getting the hooks in and working it. And I'd be like, yeah, I went to the supermarket. He goes, I feel you relaxing just by you getting out of your fucking head. So I learned from Helio a valuable lesson in life, which I'm still trying to learn, which is fucking breathe and relax, which is so hard for me to do because my monkey brains, I want to put this, get the. And then they had a police officer come in who's this big, buff, black cop. And they said, okay, Simon's our newest white belt. Let's see if you can get him off of you. And this was a cop in front of the whole Torrance Police Department, the big, tough guy. So I got on top of him, hooked the neck. He couldn't get me off of him to save his life. Now they go, you get on top of Simon and see if he can get you off. And I trapped the leg and took him off. And I was like, oh my God, this shit is fucking real.
Yeah, man.
And I quit after 1 year because I got beat up by a dude in class and was smelling his butthole and had an epiphany that I said, oh my God, I'm paying money for this. I'm not a fighter. But I learned a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
Fighting. I'm not a fighter, but in order to find out who you are, you got to find out who you're not.
Oh, yeah, man.
Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
I even tried boxing with the Goosens in the Valley. I did, 10 Goose. You don't know if you know Joe Goosen, very famous boxing.
I've had my share with boxers who can do whatever they want to me.
Yeah, it's humbling, right?
Well, I mean, boxing's no joke. Like I work so hard at it, but I can never be really good because to be really good, I have to get hit like for real.
Right, and you can't spar now. Yeah.
I got sparring. My buddy Malik.
You got to be careful.
Like he just moved around. He went a little faster yesterday. Like a little bit more than normal. Like he was just like pop and caught me a couple times. Not hard, but like
reality
hard
check,
enough, dude. I was like, oh my fucking God, I would have gone to sleep. 3 times he did it to me yesterday. Like to sleep. He'll touch me in the body sometimes, like pop, and hit me, and I'm like, oh, thank God you pull your punches.
Yeah.
He's so good that he can I can do whatever I want. Like I try everything. I try to really hit him. Like I'm doing everything. I'm trying to hit him in the body. I'm doing whatever the fuck I can, and I'm missing. I mean, it's so funny. But I mean, then he rolled my shot yesterday and went bop and hit me. I wear a bitch bar because I'm a bitch.
No, you need to protect the goods.
I'm a bitch.
No, it's okay.
And I went and he hit me just hard enough to, like the bar hit my nose and I went, oh my God, you pulled that. I would have gone to sleep. I would have been done. Like done. You don't come back from that. So jiu-jitsu is one thing you can tap. Boxing, to get good, you got to start when you're way younger.
Yeah.
Because your margin for error, it's no joke. If your fundamentals aren't there, if your hand's not here when you throw or whatever, you really will pay for it in a very real way with brain damage.
I feel like Luke Rockhold, my friend, got to keep his hands up, man. I watched him get knocked out the other.
Right here. Luke is. I just passed. He's staying with my buddy. Right? I
Okay.
just talked to him yesterday.
I'm a friend of his. He came to my show in Santa Cruz. I know his brother and the Santa Cruz boys,
boy.
and he is the absolute
He's
fucking
literally-
animal.
He's from here. He is right now. He's sitting on a couch.
Is his jaw okay?
No. He's 5 minutes. He's 3-minute walk.
Okay,
From you
I guess
right
it's,
now.
I shouldn't say that. It's too easy for me to be like, keep your hands up. But I know when I took boxing, the first thing is answer the phone.
Yeah.
Keep that phone right
Luke,
here.
Luke has done everything. He's a Hall of Fame fighter.
He's one of the best fucking.
I think that I think at this point he's probably thinking, do I want to do this anymore?
He needs to be a movie star, first of
Yeah.
all. Let's be realistic. Does he have acting chops? Because that is the next James
Well,
Bond.
he's certainly got.
You
a
need to get him in
he's
acting
got a
class.
huge modeling.
Well, I feel like I want to see him. Like that dude right there,
Yeah.
first of all, is maybe the perfect looking God man.
yeah.
I mean, what the...
Oh, yeah.
His name isn't... Wait a minute. His name isn't Luke Rockhold, right? I mean, that's not
his real name,
I mean,
right?
he can't be named Luke
Oh, that's
Rockhold.
his real name, Luke
And
Rockhold.
he is jacked, and he's a good-looking motherfucker. And guess what? Maybe the most down-to-earth, sweet, nice fucking guy. I couldn't believe when I hung out with him. I love when I'm
best.
wrong. I
He's
love
the
when
best.
I'm wrong.
The best.
And when you meet, because first of all, one thing I've learned is when you hang out with those real killers, they're not assholes because they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
It's the ones popping off. Like I went and watched Crone fight in Phoenix at the UFC, and the whole crowd is nothing but loud, obnoxious assholes who will get the fucking shit beat out of them, but the killers are quiet.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another calm energy you notice when I go to Crone's studio and I'm around these killers. Like, man, they're so relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
They're so confident.
They're also humble because all of them have been knocked out. All of them have been tapped out. All of them have felt what it's like to have another man impose his will on you and be able to take your life. There are men who can not only take your life with their bare hands, they can fuck you if they want.
Wow, that's scary.
And people don't realize that. You walk around cocky. There are dudes who are guys like Crone or whoever it is, may not be a big guy. He can do whatever he wants to you, including throw a wig on you and fuck you.
One time, me and Crone were standing around when I first got to be friends with him. This was, man, 8 years ago. And he climbed me like a tree. He goes, we were out drinking one night, and he goes, watch this. And I was like, what? Like, what's a move? I was just, and he put his fucking hand on the back of my neck and his foot on my thigh and climbed me like a fucking monkey on a tree
Been
and
doing
was
that
around
since he
my
was
head.
6.
And I've never felt the wrath of anything like that. The closest thing I can compare it to is Kimbo Slice, rest in peace, was a dear friend of mine. And Kimbo Slice would square up with me just to like teach me like boxing. And when I'd look into that man's eyes and see his frame, the bitch comes out of you real quick. And mind you, I know he's not going to do anything to me, but he put on his face and he squared
order.
up.
It's a pecking order.
Dude,
Pecking order.
I'm so
you and I are baboons. We're monkeys. We're macaque monkeys.
Yeah.
He's the silverback.
He's a silverback. Now,
Crone's the silverback.
Right.
You know, Schaub's the silverback. We are the and there's nothing wrong with it.
Are you because you have? I think you're because I've seen your boxing skills and I know you're a good fighter and you could defend yourself
I'm
need
not,
be.
but
No,
thank you.
no, but you're compared to your average person, you know how to fight, and I feel that gives you a level of confidence that's between stand up and fighting. You're doing two of the fucking most courageous acts a man could do because I've tried both and I know how fucking real that shit is.
Makes me feel alive. Yeah, I like again.
How you just smiled. That's all. Yeah, you just had a moment of lighting up.
Well,
Yeah.
I love that stand-up makes me feel like I'm part of a very
Yeah.
specific fraternity. I was a wrestler. Wrestling was always the same thing when I was my whole childhood. Like you were nobody came to our matches and you'd be
Right.
skinny and everybody went to the basketball. But
Was that Massachusetts boarding school?
I'd be in my
Yeah.
goddamn singlet and sucking weight and that competitive wrestling was the same thing. It was like such a thankless thing, you know.
Yeah. So how did you get into boxing? How did boxing come?
I went to college to wrestle, and then I hurt my back, and I saw these guys, and I was like, I'd gone to Dan Gable's wrestling camp in Iowa,
Dan Gable, is
Dan
that
Gable's
a
the greatest
okay.
wrestler of all
Okay.
time.
Yes, of course,
And
Dan
I went and
Gable.
trained with the Hawkeyes. I went and trained to see what D1 wrestling was like, because I was pretty good in high school. You know, I was able to go to a real college for it, and they trained us. They overtrained us. Looking back on it, they overtrained us, which was a shame because I
Was
would.
it 80s? Was the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that they overdid everything, man. There's no rules.
I was like, if this is what D1 wrestling is like, I don't want to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and sprint for an hour
Right.
and then live wrestle twice a day.
Right.
I don't want to.
Do you want to keep someone away from you? Boxing's so
I just
pure
didn't
and
care
beautiful.
enough. I was
Right.
like, I had never been pushed like that in my life, and I said, I don't want to. It's soul numbing. It wasn't that fun.
Right.
After a while, and I was like, I'll come out of college knowing how to shoot a single and a double. I definitely will not be.
What
a
is that? Is that a
champion.
term? Shoot a single or double? What does that mean?
Double leg or single
Oh,
leg. you
okay,
know.
got it.
But I
Like-
realized I was never going to be. The great thing about doing sports is I realized I was never going to be outstanding. I was going to be good because I was
Right.
a grinder. I was fairly athletic. I wasn't strong.
Right.
There were a lot of. I knew. I was like, I'll go to American University, which was a D1 school. I'm sure I would have been a 500 wrestler, maybe, you know. But
What does that mean? 500% winning record?
would've
Like you
been
win half your
50-50,
fight?
maybe. I don't know what I would have been. But the point is that I learned very quickly. And then, so I saw these guys kicking and punching, these guys fighting full contact. And I'd never seen dudes kick and punch like this. I was like, holy shit. And one dude, they were doing a demonstration. One guy got knocked out. And I knew enough. I said, if you want to learn how to wrestle, you got to wrestle. We used to have that saying, you know, you got to wrestle. And I go, if you want to learn how to fight, you got to fight. Because I saw a lot of karate, and I was like, these guys aren't fighting.
Right.
Like, they're not fighting. I don't see anybody with a broken nose.
Right.
Because I knew boxing. I saw boxing scared me.
Yep.
I watched dudes box, and I watched them, and I was like, fuck. I watched somebody spar one time, and I was like, Jesus. How do they see those shots coming? Where do they know where to stand? So I watched these dudes kick and punch on such a high level, and I went, I want to do that. So I kind of went to that school.
Got it.
And because it was a taekwondo school, but my teacher had been a boxer and a black belt in judo. So he was incorporating like boxing and kicking, and we would spar full. And so every time you went to train, it was so terrifying. It was like you just felt like somebody's going to get knocked out today, and you were always afraid. And you went through your fear, you went through your plateaus, you found excuses not to go to practice. I did all of it.
I used to do that with freshman football because everyone would be getting knocked out and fucked up, and I was a little guy and I tried football. I was so scared to go to practice.
Oh, fuck that. I'm not built for it.
And I'm not
But the
either.
other thing I wasn't built for is I realized there were dudes who could fight, and this is the same thing with boxing. I realized there were guys that could fight who I would never beat because they could see openings I didn't see. They were faster, they were more powerful, and they liked it. They didn't have the fear I did. I was afraid. I was always afraid. Like, you get knocked out. Well, the problem is I would get knocked out, and you have the two reactions. Some guys get angry, other guys cry. I wanted to cry. I was the different kind of guy. And when you are in a studio where people are kicking and punching like that, you get knocked out. You're going to get caught in the head. And I remember the first time I just heard a loud pop and I went down. And you feel so fucking vulnerable. And I realized, I was like, oh, I don't know. And then my buddy Blue, who was so good, I go, I'll never be better than him. Never. That's championship material. That's a whole hit, the way he hit, the way he could see openings. Right. It's a little bit like, and I'm sure that's the same thing. I always say, I wish I'd boxed earlier. No, I don't. Because what would happen was, if I was a young man and I would have boxed, I would have gotten knocked out.
Right.
I would have made mistakes.
You would have had some CTE right now or something.
And then, well, I wouldn't have gone back.
Right.
I know, I can tell you that for all the talk I do about fighting, if I had actually tried to be a boxer, I would have gotten caught in the head by somebody. I would have come back maybe because my ego. I would have got caught again, and I would have found a reason not to go back. You can't. It's very rare to be the kind of guy that can box, get knocked out, and keep coming back.
Well, yeah, they're fucking crazy, is what it is. I mean, all the guys
you're
that
born into it, and that's your only
you're either
option.
You're either Gracie, or you're like Nate or Nick Diaz, where you're just fucking completely a pure fighter with nothing to lose, and you're
Jorge
fucking
Masvidal.
that motherfucker.
They
First
don't have
of all,
an option.
Let's talk about Jorge Masvidal, because
favorite.
that was absolutely the most incredible shit talking leading up to a knockout I've seen in the history of any sport whatsoever.
He's Nick Diaz 2.0.
I
And
love that
Nick Diaz.
motherfucker. Me too. How do you not root for those guys? First of all, because they're just so
Nick
brutally
Diaz
honest.
is my favorite of
oh
all
my
time.
god.
And then Masvidal has now taken his place.
Yeah, well, you're right. He's the same thing. The
I love
shit
by the
talking.
way, I love Cowboy Cerrone too. I'm not like that's my boy too. So
Right.
I'm a fanboy all the way across.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's something about Jorge Masvidal. Like Cowboy as the most successful fighter in UFC history, Cowboy has become he's such a good guy. He's a family guy. He's in there to have a good time. Jorge Masvidal's in there to fight you, and it's personal.
It's that Miami shit. You know, he actually came up under my boy Kimbo. Kimbo put him
know.
on with the street fighting,
know.
and he was a young guy that Kimbo started that backyard league back when it was a rogue
Yep.
thing, and then he came up under Kimbo,
He's
and he was like a protege of my boy Kimbo, and I never knew.
His
till-
fight IQ is so high though, Jorge Masvidal. He's very smart.
Dude.
He trains with the best of the best.
And you look at him, and he's like a Diaz. Like, you don't look at him like, whoa, that dude. Like, he's just unassuming. Like, he looks like my size,
He's
like
a
180.
stud.
And that motherfucker's operating on a fearless level. And the shit that he says, what about after he knocked out Till and then knocked his boy?
Knocked out fucking Till.
He flew over
he's
the...
finished Cowboy. You're talking about this guy's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's in his prime.
He fought the best of the best. I mean, it's unbelievable. He's a monster.
He's in the zone, bro. There's no fear in him. Like, so now how does it work? Is he like ranked? Obviously, he was ranked like 5th or something.
getting a title shot.
So now, who's the two? What weight is he in? Middle weight?
He's gonna fight Usman.
Who? Oh yeah, that's the guy who got the. Yeah, that's
He's
the guy
gonna
who
fight
took it
Usman,
from
in my opinion.
Woodley.
In my opinion, yeah, he's gonna fight Usman, and I don't think anybody strikes with.
I don't think any.
Jorge Masvidal.
Yo, he's in the zone right now. I mean, supreme confidence. There's no part of his brain that's doubting anything. And the shit that he talks afterwards too. I mean, the guy's a fucking your dream. Like for the UFC, like that is for someone like me. You take my money all day long. I could watch this guy talk. I could watch him fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be Usman is like an aspirin, a nightmare because he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get tired, and he'll wear you like a backpack,
Right.
a la Khabib. And he's huge for 170. Fucking when you see him in person, he's as big as Rashad Evans. His face is this wide.
Yeah.
He's just a genetic freak, and he's a killer, and he's a high level wrestler, and he's a fighter through and through. So, but again. Please don't stand and bang with Masvidal. It'll be a bad.
Oh man,
day.
yeah, he's operating on another level. What about so what do you think about Dustin Poirier and Khabib? I got a weird feeling something could happen. I don't know why. I just have this visceral feeling that he's going to do better than people think and maybe even win that fight. I don't know how. I can't believe I'm saying
Poirier
this.
Is you gotta love him in every way. He's an amazing person. He's an amazing fighter. He's earned everything he's done. Of course, you root for him.
Khabib though, what do you?
Khabib is a
undefeated,
problem no one can solve.
Yeah.
Explain to me, please.
Yeah, I don't know fighting
explain
enough to say. I just have. Yeah.
Explain what that Dagestani nightmare. Explain to me what happens when he grabs you.
You're nothing. That's your only
Dustin's a
chance.
better striker.
Right.
Dustin's
He better
a better
just hope he
striker.
could do what
He can hit
Masvidal
hard
did and just get one
he'll
in.
Go, but Khabib walks around at Dustin probably walks at 185. Khabib walks around at 200 almost. I don't know what you do with that backpack on you. I don't know. But listen.
Like you said,
if you can stuff the takedown, if you can keep standing up, if you can do what Conor McGregor did, believe it or not, which is to hold on. He didn't let Khabib for a long time close his hands. And he controlled one wrist. If you look at that fight, he controlled his one hand.
Right.
So if there are ways, everybody can be solved. But if you can figure out a way, it was a good job on their camp. They kept Khabib from closing his grip around his waist, etc. If you can figure out a way to keep Khabib's hands busy and keep standing up, good luck. But Dustin might be strong enough to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to
But
see.
if you can do that, but you're going to be, if you're fighting Khabib, you're going to be on your back.
Yeah.
If you're fighting Khabib, you're going to be on your stomach. If you're Khabib, you're going to be taken down.
And that's the thing too we were talking about before. It's not just skill set and conditioning. It's that motherfucker and his world are crazy. Like, you remember that post on his Instagram of his friend who was all cut up? Like, he's a fucking real, like, he's willing to die for his shit.
Dagestan is,
Where's Dagestan?
If you look at its geography, they're
Right.
Turkmen people. And if you look at where Dagestan is, it's the Azerbaijan, Armenia, that whole area of the sort of, I think it's the part of the Tartar steppes. It's like the people of Chechnya, Dagestan.
Oh, yeah.
These are Turkmen. They're just such hard asses.
They're built different, yeah.
Well, because the geography, they were pawns in superpower, in the superpower world. The Chinese, the Russians, everybody's fighting in that area.
Right.
And they would always be run over and conquered and used for, launching whatever offensive they had to do.
Epigenetics.
Yeah, you were just so aggression. It's like the Afghanis. If you're a Pashtun, aggression is the only way you could survive.
Right.
Being tougher than your next guy. Honor culture. It's a fierce honor culture. They were herders. They lived in at the rooftop of the world. They lived in a very, very hard environment, so that you basically lived off your flock. You lived off your sheep. You lived off. You were a nomad. You were a herder. Your dogs had to keep wolves away. Everything about you was tough. Everything about their existence. You couldn't, it wasn't like fertile, flat land like Italy where you could just plant a bunch of stuff and hang out. And no, dude.
Yeah.
No.
So like, what's your DNA background? What is your genetics?
I'm Sicilian and Irish.
Okay. So I look at my hands, right? And I look at my hands and I don't see plowing the fields, tough motherfucker. I see my dad. I just did my
look like
DNA
a tennis
test.
pro.
I could be. I could be a tennis guy, but I'm saying like as far as like the fucking man hands that you see on some of these motherfuckers, like it's not
Your
in my
neck is
DNA.
long, you have a liability
skinny
like me.
ankles. Like I'm going down. I'm going down.
We're a walking liability. We're distance runners.
So now, to survive, I feel in a weird way, I've survived by being the class clown. Because when I would be around the homies back where I grew up in Oakland and shit like that, like I survived by being funny.
Me too.
That was my shit.
Me too.
So I'm not a threat, guys. Hey, I'm just here.
I don't compete with you.
I'm the court jester.
I'm not competing with you.
I'm not a tough. So that's been
Everybody
my
loves a
survival.
clown.
You know what I mean? Until you make fun of the wrong person. But yeah. I feel that's been my survival mechanism, has been that, because when I tried boxing, when I tried jujitsu, when I tried kung fu, I was like, I'm not even built for it. Like I'm constantly beat up and I'm glad I did it, but I realized I'm just not a fighter.
I do it because of all that.
Good.
I do it because I get so much out of it. I do it all because I'm uncomfortable and it goes against my nature.
Right. Good. Go outside your comfort zone. I can't express enough how much it's important to go outside your comfort zone. I'm constantly doing that, but I'm doing weird shit. Like I did Kundalini yoga for a year. Now you want to talk about going outside your comfort zone and getting in touch with the feminine. Holy shit, dude. You're in there like, it's absolutely insane to think these ecstatic dancing and these chants you're doing and like breath of fire with your tongue and fucking these exercises. And I went into that outside of my comfort zone for a year and did Kundalini yoga. But I'll tell you this much, that shit is magic. You could tap into some like. That's some Crone Gracie, Hicks and Gracie breathwork shit. You know, when they do the stomach, like they can do all that. That's the kind of shit you tap into, is that Wim Hof yoga, breathing. You can get high off your own supply type shit. But then even I tried that. I'm like, I'm not this guy either. So I'm always going outside comfort zone is my point.
It's good.
It's good to go outside the comfort zone.
How long have you been doing this podcast?
We're about 4 months in. So I'm a newbie.
What's it called?
It's called Nervous Rex.
There you go. Nervous
Good name,
Rex is
right?
good.
It's catchy.
Nervous Rex is excellent.
And it defends my sort of neurotic energy. And I'm really learning to listen and slow down.
Good.
Because I tend to just, and I need to listen more. You're a good guest because I really admire, I'm a fan of I listen to Fighter and the Kid all the time. I'm a fan of, what's the other one you have with Hunter Matz?
Oh, yeah. Mixed
have you still doing that? What's going on?
Yeah, I am.
It's been a minute.
I'm rebooting it with Will Sasso.
Oh, great.
And
you guys are great together.
Yeah, and Hunter will be curating all the guests and stuff.
Yeah, dude. We could sit here and talk all day. We're about an hour. That's what I keep the show at. I just want to let you know that I admire your fighting abilities mixed with your comedy abilities, mixed with your overall good heart. You're a good man. I listen to you and I feel you're a good fabric of society for guys like me who need a little guidance. Good. You, Chris, Ron, I swear, I'm not kidding. You give me. I'll listen to you go on a rant about someone, and I'll look them up and learn about that person. Or
Good,
I just feel like you're a very intelligent guy, and I got a lot to learn. So I just wanted to get in your head a little.
That's my job at 52, and I appreciate that. I hope I'm in a position of service, so I can steer people away from the mistakes I made.
Absolutely, my life has just been one mistake after another. I'm just happy to be here in one piece, man. Like
there's that great Zen poet who wrote that book, One Continuous Mistake. Life happens at you, and you have to improvise your way out of every single problem that hits at you. We don't have a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
So I like Jordan Peterson's advice: in chaos, always tell the truth.
Yeah, I like that.
I leave that for all of you. And another quote that I've quoted many times on podcasts, but Michelangelo said, "Criticize by creating." If you don't like the way something is or what's going on, then create a better alternative. And I think that's what we all need. What if you don't like healthcare or whatever. What's your solution? Have you come up with an original way to do it? That's my advice.
I'll take it, and thank you so much for your time. And that's it. And listeners can find you. Obviously, I'm sure most people know. What's the Instagram? What about? They want to come see a show?
Bryan Callen, BryanCallen. Let's fucking
Let's do it. I would love to. In San Francisco.
Let's bring your birthday in style.
I would love to do that.
Let me give you a shout out from stage, and we'll have a good time.
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
Let's go drink some good wine and eat some good food.
Yeah, there's a lot of that up there. It's a great city.
Yeah,
good place to be from. Good crowd up there. Cool people.
I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, bro. Really.